So on this day, March 26th, 2001, to me and to a lot of people out there, wrestling fans, pro wrestling died on this day. March 26th, 2001, it's been 15 years. Wow. It's been 15 years since the last WCW Monday Nitro. And I remember it so well. I remember sitting in front of my TV, watching it and having a ball and being fascinated that Vince McMahon was on Nitro and cutbacks from Raw were on Nitro and vice versa and all that stuff. And I remember also the next week turning on TNT and I'm thinking, oh, Shane bought WCW because I was 10. So, I thought it was real. I thought Shane bought it. Turned on TNT and it wasn't on. And everyone knows what happened after that. WCW meant a lot to me as a kid. It was the first wrestling that I grew up with. Very shortly after WCW, I also wandered to the WWF, but I was pro WCW for a long time. Actually, until the Finger Poke of Doom. And even my father, who was watching with me, he was like, what is this garbage? And we kind of turned on to Raw more after that. But Sting and Macho Man, those were the first guys that I saw. And Surfer Sting, beach blonde hair Sting. And I fell in love with Nitro. And I fell in love with wrestling because of Nitro. And I really wish Eric Bischoff would have been able to pull off that deal and buy WCW. And it's a shame that it didn't happen. But you want to blame Vince Russo. You want to blame this one. You want to blame that one for the death of WCW. Why not Jimmy Kellner? That punk little executive. And Brad Siegel and all those guys. Oh yeah, we're not in the wrestling business anymore. They're the reason. Now, I've heard stories over the years that FX was in play. Bischoff was talking to FX. I don't know how true that is, but obviously it never happened. If Eric would have had a TV deal, he would have probably gone through with it, I would assume. But, you look back, and that's the guy. That's your culprit. That's the guy that killed it. He was the mean guy. He was the evil guy. He was the guy that said, I don't want wrestling on TBS no more, or TNT, or any Turner channel for that matter. And I hate him. I hate him to this day. I hate you, Jamie Kellner. I hate you. I hate the AOL Time Warner merger because it killed everything. And it really hasn't been the same. And I know TNA tried, and TNA's been the number 2 company since they came in 2002, but wrestling has never been the same since Nitro went off the air. We all can agree on that. We all can agree on that. Wrestling hasn't been the same. And, bad contracts, bad business deals, and Raw just getting hot. It's super hot, red hot. It did him in. And, I do think a big factor was not developing their own stars. Relying on the old guys. That hurt. I mean, Scott Steiner is my world champion. I was not intrigued at all by WCW towards the last 3-4 months. And it sucks because once this happened, we as wrestling fans could have saw dream matches. And it never transpired. I think that they handled the invasion all wrong. Maybe they could have done some with ECW around that time. My thing would have been Shane buys the company. WCW is their separate entity. Put them on Saturday night, Saturday Night Nitro on TNN. Have that play out for a year. And then when all the big contracts start to become available, because mind you folks, a lot of these people were not available